So, massive haul. As you guys saw from the thumbnail, I have 8 brand new 2021 fragrance releases. Let's check these out. I wanna know if these are gonna be any good, because for the most part, guys, to be honest with you, it's just more of the same of like new flanker releases and whatnot. So some of these I have high hopes for, as you guys see on my fragrance news that I do every month. Others, not so much. So without any further ado, guys, let's hop into these fragrances. If you wanna know, I have the most talked about, including the new Dior Elixir that's getting a lot of limelight right now. Anyway, let's see what these fragrances are all about. Keep it tuned in. Welcome back to another video, maxforti. If you guys love to make a great first impression, if you love to smell good, you came to the right place. Today we're talking brand new releases. It's a massive fragrance haul. All fragrances here were purchased retail, with the exception of one, of course. I smell well, so you don't have to. So I'm gonna talk about what they are, and then I'm gonna bring one at a time and give you guys my first take on them. We have Davidoff's Cool Water Parfum in 2019. They released a Cool Water Intense. This is the Parfum version 2021. We also have a new one from Yves Saint Laurent. It's not getting much talk around, you know, the fragrance groups and whatnot. This is La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. I know that there's a Bleu Electrique before this one, but this one here is the Eau de Toilette Intense, whatever that means. I think I did review the one previous to this one a few years ago. We also have a new one from Calvin Klein. It's called Defy for Men. One that I'm not really holding my breath. We have a tester bottle here for Burberry Hero, which also has a new standalone release. Now, one good thing about, well, it's kind of like a little bit dubious. A lot of these fragrance houses are releasing standalone releases, not flankers per se, but for the most part, they are more of the same, but conversation for a different video. This one here is one that is getting a lot of talks. This is Prada Ocean from Rossa collection. This is Ocean, also getting somewhat of a talk out there. However, these three are probably the ones that are getting the most talks. Of course, the little robot, this is Phantom from Paco Rabanne, always likes to push the envelope. We have Dior Sauvage Elixir, which is the 4th and the 3rd flanker from the original EDT from 2015. So really curious about this one from what I hear. Anyway, stay tuned. And then last but not least, we have Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum 2020. All 2021 releases, guys, all brand new, all purchased retail except for one, which I'll tell you which one it is. Let's get cracking. We're gonna start with this one right here, Cool Water from Davidoff. Now, Cool Water is a fragrance that's been around for a long time, since 1988. I do enjoy the original Cool Water, which is very reminiscent to Green Irish Tweed from Creed. Actual nose of that fragrance is also Pierre Bourdin, created both fragrances. This is Cool Water Parfum, 2021 release. The bottle here, the box, very similar to the original. The actual bottle now, instead of having that blue, cobalt blue kind of a look, this is more of a transparent look. You can see the juice is blue. Let's see what we get here. The sprayers are actually pretty good with these fragrances. You can actually control the sprayer as well. The scent itself, not bad. I get a little bit of a nuance from the original, except it's a lot more sweet, a lot sweeter. Heavy dose of Ambroxan or Tonka here. Again, nothing really to brag home about. It's more of the same. If you're familiar with lavender, Tonka beans, and Ambroxan fragrances out there, which are, you know, a dime a dozen, this is gonna be that kind of fragrance. Also has a little bit of a Invictus Aqua vibe. So if you do like Invictus Aqua from Paco Rabanne, if you missed that fragrance from 2016, it's very strong here, what I'm getting on the blotter, on the test strip. So I'm not gonna test these on skin right now, just because there's 8 fragrances. I won't have enough real estate here on my arms to spray everything. But let's look at the notes real quickly on this one, guys. So we have pink pepper, we have lemon up top with Haitian vetiver and sandalwood. It's not listing Ambroxan, it's not listing Tonka, it's not listing lavender, but I'm definitely getting it. If you're familiar with the fragrances I talked about, especially Paco Rabanne Invictus Aqua, when you try this, it's gonna be very close to that fragrance. So first impression here, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 because it does smell good, but on originality, it's not original at all. It's not something that's really inspiring to me. So it's gonna get a 7 out of 10 just because it smells good, and perhaps it will have good performance from what I'm getting here. I think it's gonna be quite strong as well. Next up, we're gonna talk about Burberry Hero. Now, this is the only fragrance that was not purchased retail. Everything else here on this list, I actually purchased retail at my local general store. This one here is going to be Burberry's Hero, which is their brand new standalone release. Now, I'm a fan of Burberry. Even though most of their fragrance are a little bit lackluster, I do enjoy London. Brit's actually pretty good. It's a powdery fragrance. Now, this one here, I don't know much at all about. Again, it's all first impression, all first time trying them, all blind buys here. The cap on this one is actually magnetic. Let's look at the sprayers. Very nice. So Burberry is known for having good quality. Lately though, they haven't really done anything that I've been saying, to myself, hey, Burberry is the fragrance house that I should be looking more into it. As opposed to all the other brands that I talked to you guys about that you guys should definitely check out, like Cartier, for example, Issey Miyake. This company here, not one of those. But you know what? From a first impression standpoint, this is actually nice. I'm getting this really nice woody and spicy vibe. Almost like an anise or like cinnamon or, cloves kind of a vibe, woody. There's definitely vetiver in here. There's definitely some spices, but the woods are definitely the most predominant note here. Nothing extraordinary unique, but quite nice and pleasant. I don't think it's gonna be as strong as the Cool Water Parfum here. It's gonna be more of a close to the skin, perhaps a really nice, casual day wear or office type of a scent. Let's look at the notes on this one real quickly. So the notes for Burberry Hero, we're talking bergamot, bergamot, black pepper, juniper. There's that stringent, sharpness that I'm getting here, which is the juniper along with the cedar, plus, it's got a lot of cedar in the base. So it's basically a pepper, juniper, and cedar bomb. Again, woodsy. Definitely the spices here, the astringent quality from the juniper, almost like that gin and tonic spicy vibe that you get. It doesn't smell bad, guys. I actually like the smell of this one. And I like it that they're not giving me more of the same. They're doing something a little bit different with that cedar juniper combination. So I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. I like the smell, don't know anything about performance, but on scent alone, it's actually quite pleasant. Let's talk about Calvin Klein Defy here, which is one that I'm not really holding my breath. I was a big fan of Calvin Klein when I was young. I used to wear CK1, CKB. Eternity was like my signature scent for office, work scent for many years. So over the past few years though, with the exception of Reveal, which is actually a very underrated gem that I think has been discontinued now, I don't think Calvin Klein has done anything really worth getting excited about. This one here, standalone release, Defy, I do like the contour of the body. I think it's pretty cool. The cap here, not gonna be magnetic. Sprayer is okay, actually does a pretty good job, not bad, But let's look at the scent. From the looks of it, it's gonna be a blue scent, aquatic, blue, perhaps Zonic, let's see. Okay, very sweet. Again, not as sweet as the Cool Water Parfum, but definitely sweet. It's more of a woody, spicy with some blue, ozonic qualities, but not as sweet, which is nice. Let me look at the notes here, guys. Another one that's gonna be good for day wear, casual, office. I think all these here, up to this point, are very casual, easy to wear, except for the Cool Water, which I think is a little bit more youthful. You could actually wear this for date, I think. These two here, more for a dressier, casual wear during the daytime or just running errands. But let's look at the notes here on the new Calvin Klein release here, Defy. This is Bergamot, Lavender, Absolute, Haitian Vetiver, and Amber. So not many notes, but I do like this one. To be honest with you, the one right now that's my least favorite would be the Cool Water one, because it's very sweet, Ambrox and Tonka, more of the same. These here are giving me something that's just a little bit different than what's out there today. So I'm liking this one. It's got a real nice, woodsy lavender / vetiver vibe to it, along with that sweetness, ozonic vibe that I talked about. Really enjoying Calvin Klein. 7.25 for this one. Not as good as this one on scent alone, but I do enjoy it. This is going to be Prada Ocean, Luna Rossa collection, tons of flankers. I lost count by now. I don't know which number flanker this is. Perhaps the 7th or 8th flanker. I'm not even sure. But the Luna Rossa, for the most part, is actually a pretty good line. I think Carbon is the one that's, to me, the least favorite, just because it's very similar to, the reason, by the way, I don't show you guys the bottle or the box so much is because I always give you guys a transition which highlights the bottle in the box, so I don't want to, waste time doing that. This has a little stopper here at the top, but the actual sprayer is built in, the cap itself. But as I was saying, the Luna Rossa collection is usually pretty good, except for the Carbon release, which is, pretty much a dupe of Dior Sauvage. It was their take on Dior Sauvage. Perhaps Ocean will be their take on Bleu de Chanel. Who knows? Really nice here. What I did like about the note breakdown in Ocean was that it had a gourmand facet. It has vetiver. It has some, you know, blue nuances, but it also has caramel in the dry down, which made me think, you know, what are they doing? Is this gonna be like a gourmand? You know, the Luna Rossa gourmand of the fragrances? So this is nice. You know, I'm really digging the smell. It's got this really strong vibe to it. Almost reminds me of Jupe or Yop Homme, but not quite as heavy on the vanilla and lavender as you get with Yop Homme. But it has a very familiar note with like Creed's, you know, Santal, original Santal. If you like those fragrances, it's gonna be very much so in that vein, but a little bit more refined as you come to expect with Prada fragrances. It's very smooth. It's strong, but at the same time, not overbearing. Let's look at the notes on this one, guys. So Luna Rossa Ocean does not have, as you would expect from the name Ocean, an oceanic vibe, marine, seaweed, sea salt, nothing like that. It's definitely very aromatic. So we're talking lavender, iris, saffron, pink pepper, bergamot, vetiver, musk, and patchouli. So like I said, the vetiver, the lavender, the saffron, very powerful notes here, but blended really nice. So I'm digging this one. I think it's quite nice. And again, a little bit more mature, which I like. It's not gonna be very playful, overly sweet. It's strong, it's aromatic, but it's also really nice smelling. It's different than what you're getting out there. But if you're familiar with the original Santal from Creed, if you're familiar with Yop Homme, but you wanted something a little bit more classy, a little bit more refined with the addition of the iris, this is a good one, guys. I'm giving this one 7 3/4 out of a 10 possible, you know, rating. Quite nice. Not great, but quite nice. Let's talk about the Yves Saint Laurent latest release here. This is going to be Bleu Electrique Eau de Toilette Intense, whatever that means. You know, again, Yves Saint Laurent, this is a La Nuit flanker. La Nuit and L'Homme flankers are, you know, probably one of the most flankers that you can probably find from a particular line. I mean, they have flankers every year. I think, you know, for the last 2 decades, they haven't missed one flanker. You know, whether from the L'Homme collection or the La Nuit collection, we get flankers every year. All right, guys, so let me know in the comments while you're watching this, you know, which one of these releases you guys are most curious about trying. But this one here, you know, Eau Electrique, I do have the original that came a few years ago. I want to say 2018 or 17. And it was quite nice, actually very underrated. It reminded me of a lighter version of Versace Eros. This one here is their new EDT Intense La Nuit Bleu Electrique. Let's see what we get out of this one, guys. Okay, this is not bad. This one here has the La Nuit de l'Homme DNA, which is really nice. Very different than the other Eau Electrique, which again went into the tonka and vanilla kind of a vibe. This one here retains that cardamom, the lavender spiciness that you get. That's one thing I have to say about, you know, designer companies. I think they're going back to the basics now of old school lavender fragrances. I'm seeing a lot of that fougere. Now you can actually call these amber fougeres because they are going back to the lavender fougere and adding these nice, you know, spicy and modern nuances with the vanillas and whatnot. So I'm really digging this one. This one has the La Nuit de l'Homme essence, but it envelops it with perhaps vanilla. I'm getting like a really nice dry vanilla here along with the cardamom. Let me look at the notes, but I'm really enjoying this one so far. My favorite because it has the original DNA. That's what a flanker should be, guys. It has the original La Nuit de l'Homme and it envelops it with these other nuances here. We have cardamom, we have bergamot, ginger, the lavender, geranium, vetiver, and cedar wood. So that cedar wood or amber wood, whatever you want to call it, it's going to give that, you know, modern twist to it, but it has the cardamom, the lavender, everything you had with La Nuit de l'Homme minus the dark chocolatey patchouli that you get with La Nuit. Other than that, it's very similar to the original. Really digging this one. This one here, guys, 8 out of 10. So my favorite so far. If you missed the power of La Nuit, perhaps this is the one's gonna give us the power that we missed from the original La Nuit because it has been reformulated to death. So as I wear this down the line, I'll give you guys my take on performance, but the smell alone, 8 out of 10. I'm gonna leave those two here for last because these are the ones you guys are really curious to know more about. I know that because I've done some polls and you guys said these are the ones you guys are waiting for. But this one here is no slouch. It's Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum. Tom Ford always gets a ton of you know, talks. I mean, Tom Ford is controversial, but the guy's a genius when it comes to marketing. And the original version of this was already powerful enough. So I'm curious to see what are we gonna get for this 2021 Parfum release? Is it gonna be more powerful than the original, which, as we all know, it has that gorgeous leather, you know, creamy facet that's very similar to Tuscan leather from the Private Blends collection. This one here changed a little bit. It has some of the off-white nuances as opposed to the all-black, you know, matte finish that we get with the original. So not a magnetic cap. Again, minimalist bottle, but what we're looking for here, we really care about is the juice. Let's see what we get out of the juice, guys. So Ombre leather, Parfum. All right, from the get-go, guys, it is very similar to the original, perhaps fresher, perhaps lighter, more wearable version from the original. Both which were created by Sonia Constant, which actually will be part of ScentXplore this year. She'll actually be in the panel talking to us and answering questions from you guys if you actually attend ScentXplore. But this one here, as I was saying, a more wearable, greener version of the original. I get this very nice, almost dry tobacco nuance that's very green and more wearable, more aromatic, if you will, not as spicy as the original. Let me look at the notes here, guys. So we have violet leaf, we have jasmine, we have black leather, iris, green tobacco, cedar wood, and woody notes. So definitely following suit. It's a perfect flanker because it retains the signature and profile of the original and Tuscan leather. It's like variations of the same, but giving you different nuances. The green tobacco, the jasmine is amplified. So I would classify this as a leather, which is greener, more floral, and definitely more wearable. And definitely androgynous, guys. I think this fragrance here could definitely be worn by guys or gals that do love their leathers. So these last two here are the ones that are getting the most talks. Paco Rabanne always pushes the envelope. Dior is always highly requested, you know, for reviews. You guys are always, you know, wanting to know more about Dior. And of course, this is Elixir, which is the third flanker, the fourth for this particular collection. So I'm actually gonna spray these two on the crevices of my arm so I can get more of a full experience. Phantom, of course, the little robot, and Dior Sauvage Elixir. I mean, Sauvage is the top-selling fragrance, one of the top-selling fragrances for men worldwide. And so Elixir, I'm sure it's gonna be one that you guys are gonna be looking forward to trying, you know. They did a good job here, by the way. The casing is really nice, almost of a private blend kind of a deal here. You have the little bee in here, so quite good quality. And not cheap, guys. This one here was close to $200 retail. So the most expensive of all the fragrances here. But I wanna see what I get out of these because I'm very curious. So I'm gonna do Paco Rabanne's Phantom on my left crevice here. And I'm going to do the new Elixir from Dior on my right crevice. Let me start with this one right here. Let's start with Phantom. Okay, it smells good. It gives me off, right off the bat, a coconut slash sweet lavender and vanilla kind of a vibe. There's definitely citruses here, which reminds me of mandarin that I get with Eros Flame. You know, that beautiful orange mandarin vibe that I get. But it's definitely youthful and it's definitely very sweet. So it's not gonna be, I don't think an adult that is very mature will enjoy this. However, if you're very playful by nature, you like sweet fragrances, you're gonna like this. But this is the sweetest of all the fragrances here for sure. Now, Elixir, guys, this is my speed. I'm really enjoying this one here. The scent bubble that I'm getting with this, it's definitely more mature. It's definitely a lavender bomb. It definitely has a fougere vibe to it. It is nothing like the originals. It gives, you're gonna have that Sauvage vibe here, but it's amped up. It's very strong and bold. Like I said, you must like fougeres. You must like fragrances of old. You like green scents that are very aromatic and a very predominant lavender to appreciate this one. I think if you are a big fan of the original Sauvage and its flankers previous to this one, you're probably not gonna like this one because it goes into a very mature vibe. Now let me look at the notes for these two. This is gonna have lavender absolute, lemon zest, rhubarb, fruity notes. Like I said, lots of fruity notes here. Clary sage, patchouli, vanilla, and Haitian vetiver. But I'm telling you, overall, it's a creamy, and I think because of the rhubarb, it's adding some of the sourness to it and the creaminess. It's definitely a vanilla, fruity patchouli bomb. It's definitely a fruity patchouli bomb. So you must really enjoy fruity fragrances to like this one. I also get a little bit of a tonka vibe that's not listed as a note, but it's definitely present. And last but not least, guys, this one here, Elixir from Dior Sauvage. This has grapefruit, cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, tons of spices up top. Of course, lavender and coumarin in the middle. There's your fougere. And in the base, woods, which could be many different things. Ambroxan, they did utilize ambroxan. Licorice, I did not pick up the licorice shit, but I guess that adds to that dark spiciness. Haitian vetiver and patchouli. This is a bum, guys. I'm telling you right now, from all the fragrances, this is the most powerful. I did a couple sprays, and this is the one that I'm smelling the most, and this is the second most powerful. For Phantom, guys, 7.5 out of 10. Not really my thing. I think for this scent profile, there are other things out there that are much better than this. And Dior Sauvage Elixir, I'm giving this one 8.5 out of 10. This is the highlight for me. The new Electrique is actually pretty good as well because it stayed true to the original La Nuit. And the other fragrances, if you recap and look at my grades, my ratings, they're not bad. I think that the two least favorites from this haul here are going to be these two. This one here, my least favorite for sure. This one here has potential, Hero from Burberry, depends on how it's gonna be on my skin, but I like that cedar and juniper combination. The one from Prada here, Luna Rossa Ocean, quite nice because it's diverging from the, common aquatic, vibe and giving me something spicy and a little bit off the beaten path. Overall, nice little haul here, and of course, Ombre leather, you can't go wrong. I really like what they did here with the green tobacco. Overall, nice haul. I'm actually, if you have to, put this thing on a scale and see, overall if I'm pleased with these purchases. Yes, I am pleased with these purchases. However, I would say don't buy retail if you don't have to. By the time you're watching this video, chances are a lot of these fragrances en route, if not already available at fragrancebuy.ca. I'll have the links below if they are available. If not, just keep checking on new arrivals because they get stuff all the time. And of course, if you want to try before you even commit to a bottle, perfume.com is the route for you to go because I know probably 95% of these fragrances are already at perfume.com website. Again, link below, check it out, use my code MAX15, enjoy. As always, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. If you do appreciate what I do, a like is appreciated. Subscribe for more and hit your little bell icon so you're always notified when I have new content, which is quite often on this channel. And as always, guys, remember, fragrance is an extension of who you are, so choose your fragrances wisely and of course, wear it well. I'll see you right back here with another one very soon. Take care.